Oof. This one was rough. So I just got back not long ago from watching The Long Walk, which is, I think, maybe Stephen King's first novel. He wrote it under the name Richard Bachman at the time, I believe. It's from the 70s. I didn't read the book or listen to it, but I have looked up comparisons about how the book ended compared to how the movie ended, and it's a little different. I don't know if fans of the book will take issue with it, but I went into this not really knowing much about the story other than the bits in the trailers that I had seen. So I was kind of like, whatever. This film stars Judy Greer, Mark Hamill, and David Johnson, who is the actor who played in Alien Romulus, who was my favorite character. He did a good job in that movie. He had a standout performance in here. Again, I really liked his character a lot and was rooting for him. And of course, the main character, rooting for him as well. He was played by Cooper Hoffman, another Nepo baby, but he was good in here. He was fun. I really don't have any complaints about his performance. It's a dystopian survival type of story. Reminded me a little bit of The Running Man, but it's slower, it's bleaker. The scenario is a little different. It takes place, I think, 20 years after major civil war has happened. It honestly looks like it's in the time period of the 60s. Potentially early 70s. It does not look like it's something that takes place in modern time. There's old cars, there's no real modern tech or anything like that. And the country has this annual event called The Long Walk. It's something that's televised. It's a survival reality show. 50 boys or young men, whatever, they have to be a certain age. So one boy from each state, they are chosen by this lottery system to participate in this event. It's all voluntary, unlike, let's say, in the Hunger Games, where it's not really. The rules of this long walk is that they basically have to walk until they can't walk anymore, and the last one standing is the winner, and they will get anything they want and all these riches or something like that. They have to maintain a speed of 3 miles an hour, which isn't super fast, but you guys, 3 miles an hour is pretty moderately on up their clip. It's not slow walking, taking your time. It's brisk. It's fairly not on the higher side of brisk, but it's still brisk. And they get 3 warnings max if they don't stay at that speed. And if you've seen the trailers, you know what happens if their 3rd warning runs out of time. They're executed brutally, coldly, ruthlessly. And this event is overseen by someone called the General, who is played by Mark Hamill. He appears to be involved in, beyond just this, what he's doing here with the long walk, he appears to be involved in some way with government. Like maybe he's top tier or whatever. I mean, it shows a flashback clip of him executing someone. So he's not just a person who is in charge of the long walk. I feel like he has some sort of governmental type of control. So he's like a dictator, okay? And the story, there's not really a lot of variety as far as location. Well, as they're walking, they are traveling different areas, but it basically feels like a one location type of story because it's just on the road as they're walking. And as they go on, various characters form bonds with each other, and the 2 main characters, the one played by Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, Cooper, and David, they form this close bond, even though they know that at the end of their journey, one of them's going to be dead. And you can see the walk as it grinds these men down, these young men down. Little by little, they pass away in different situations. Some are pretty horrific, and this story as a whole, it's very bleak. It's obviously the scenario. It's bleak, right? It's not really a film that I felt like I enjoyed, but that doesn't mean this isn't a good film. I feel like it is a pretty good film. I do have some issues with it, which I'll touch on in a bit, but this one hit me pretty hard, and I was not expecting the emotional impact that it had on me. There were moments that I got choked up when you knew that the end was about to come for certain people, and it hit me really hard. One of the first deaths, maybe it was the actual first death, the way that was done, to me, it was pretty brutal. It hit me like a gut punch. I knew it was a CGI effect, but it still unsettled me deeply. And I don't know how much of that is just the way it was done on screen, or how much of that has to do with still feeling pretty raw about the events of yesterday, September 10th, and what happened to Charlie Kirk, and seeing like half-second or second video clip of when he was hit. So I kind of, I already went into this film in a pretty bleak place mentally. And so when certain things happened, it just affected me a lot. And when you're watching a movie like this that has killing and stuff, it's fake. And while certain things can affect you, depending on what the story is, you still know it's fake. Or, that's, my experience is generally, it all depends on the story as to how it hits me. And maybe also it depends on what's going on around me at the time. And I'm kind of feeling like real life sort of bled its way into this experience for me. So it might be that it doesn't hit you as hard as it did me, just because of the mindset I'm in right now. It was sad to see certain characters that you'd grown attached to in this story meet their end. And the way that some of them did, it was very degrading, and it was pitiful and terrible. As far as the performances, I have sort of mixed overall, but to me there were some standouts. One of the first one was Judy Greer, her performance at the beginning when she's dropping her son off to the start of this event, the way she breaks down. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that hit me. As a mother. So she was really good. And David Johnson was very good. I really liked his character. He's such a good actor. The thing about his character that I really liked was he had come from a really bad background. All of these boys, these young men, had different reasons for joining this walk, and they didn't have to. But the situation in the country, they felt compelled to, even though it was voluntary. And they talk about the sorts of things that, drove each of them to put their name in the hat. And his character had a terrible life. You find out stuff about them as they walk. And yet he tried to be so uplifting and positive and encouraging to the other contestants around him. And I just thought he pulled that off so well. Any issues that I had with this film generally fell along the side of the acting. Some of the performances I felt were weaker. Those were generally from the side characters, because there really were two leads in here. Some of the other characters had bigger parts than others, but the two leads, I had no issues with their acting. Mark Hamill was fine. Judy Greer, I've already touched on that. But some of the side characters, I didn't really buy into some of their performances. And there were also some other things that happened that I didn't fully buy into, didn't really land for me. There was a scene of self-deletion in here. But before that, there was all this other stuff that character did. I didn't really buy into this moment because he would have been put down much earlier. He would have never gotten to the point that he got to. So what happened with him basically was inconsistent with how the guards around had been behaving. And I get that there was supposed to be this moment, but the way it was executed didn't land for me. The pacing, I wasn't really bored. I had a sense of dread. I did feel like the pacing was fast for me as far as it went by pretty quickly because I was drawn into it. But because it's just this monotonous, they're just walking, okay, who's going to go down next and what's it going to be like? It might feel a bit slow for some viewers, but this film it's not horribly long, but maybe a few minutes could have been shaved off. That's not a huge critique though. So, it is what it is. As far as the ending, I thought that I was going to be able to predict the ending. And the reason I thought it was because of comparisons with some other movies that we've seen, a specific series of movies. And the way that particular one ended in the first movie, I thought something like that was going to happen in this one. I thought something similar. It didn't play out that way, but what did end up happening was something that one of the possibilities I had in my mind. So I can't say it was an ending that completely surprised me or anything, and you guys will probably see it coming too. It was okay. I felt that everything in the story leading up to the ending was probably a bit stronger than the ending itself was. The ending felt, for some reason, a little anticlimactic. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure what they could have done to make it have a stronger punch to it than it did have, but it's definitely not anything that ruined the film for me. While this is a very good film, I'm not sure that I can say it's going to be something that ends up on my list of favorites. Possibly an honorable mention just because of the emotional impact it had on me. But, 3 or 4 months from now, when I'm constructing my list for 2025, maybe I won't be in that same mindset, so maybe it won't feel so raw. Don't know. But anyway, I personally feel like it was a good movie, a good Stephen King movie. I feel a little off kilter because I'm not familiar with the source material, but it is very sad. It's emotionally heavy. Definitely not something that I plan to watch again, but also pretty impactful. If you're a Stephen King fan, you'll probably want to check it out, especially if you've read the book or listened to it and you like it. You'll probably want to check it out. I'd be curious to hear from you guys, those of you who have read the book, after you see this movie, what you think about the differences between the book and the film. Okay, I don't have anything else to say for now about The Long Walk, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Later.